Good morning. I'm Sara Scoggan. I'm the early childhood librarian from the Newburgh Free Library, and this is my presentation, Still Growing. And I called it that because it's actually a follow-up from a presentation I did in 2021 called Growing Collaborators and Innovators from 2020. It's just like a 15-second recap of that one. Everybody was creating new connections and programs by necessity. I found I was doing a ton more collaboration with my other youth services librarians, other departments. We even had one where we collaborated with like anyone in the library staff, like the custodial staff, everybody. We worked directly with publishers and authors. We called our patrons at one point. We were calling up a patron just saying, "How are you doing? Here's library services are available. Can I help you get on ebooks?" We had a Design for Play Newburgh is an organization that helped us build a mini stage outside pavilion. We painted our outdoor to look like a giant freedom quilt for Harriet Tubman Day. We had a statue of Harriet Tubman that was going to different locations, came to the library, and everyone was going to virtual. We tried to be sort of outside the box, virtual as much as we can to be creative. At one point, we had something called the Imagination Station, which is a literacy video tours. We instituted something when we were back in the building, but the public couldn't come back in, so they could virtually browse. It's called Librarians Pick, You Check Out. And we did community gardening. So, whoops. There. So following up with community gardening, one of the last slides in the 2021 presentation was saying we hoped we could create a seed library, which did come to fruition. There's our seed library. And you can see seeds in there. This was in large part a collaboration with an organization called Core, which teens and young adults, they serve their community through gardening and related things. And they got they found the artist to paint that. And Core is still collaborating with us, along with Nuffy, the Newburgh Urban Farm and Food Initiative. So for the past couple of years, we've had something every February called It's Almost Spring. And they do big events. You can see one of the Core helping plant indoor trees and seeds. Kids did garden rocks, make your own spice blend, make a little mini greenhouse out of a milk jug. So that collaboration originally was growing, pun intended, and is still going. The Knee-High Naturalists program is from the Hudson Highlands Nature Museum, and they couldn't go into schools during the pandemic, so they were looking for other places, and one of them was the Newburgh Free Library, as we were sort of climbing out of the pandemic. And so we said, what can we host outside? So they brought animals, and we are still doing that. So we had one yesterday. The library has frequent visits from rabbits, salamanders, snakes, a skink, and more. Skink is like a lizard. Apparently there's tiny ones in New York, but there's like giant ones in other places in the world. And that's for ages 3 to 5. And the presenters help children get over their fear of animals, get them interested in the outside world, encouraging them to spend time outdoors. Oh, and bonus, because it was outside, we got to see the owl. They didn't want to bring the owl in the library. The Family Reading Day / Day of the Child is another program. We were trying to think outside the library, like get into the community, connect with the community, not just only bring people in our walls. This is one of our most highly collaborative projects because we had more than a dozen different organizations. We had cultural dancers, we had African drummers. You can see we have a mariachi band there. We had a cultural storyteller the first year. There are local businesses, food vendors, West Point volunteers. There's so many people that got involved. And the first year we did it, the Newburgh Free Library was certified as a first book eligible organization. And we received 100 books at nominal fee so we could give them out to the first 100 families that came. We have literary stations to build awareness and skills while having fun. We had a lot of participants. There's a few pictures from past years. We had the Bouncing Bear show up one year. And there's on the poster there, you can see of the one that is coming up in a few weeks, the 2025 Family Reading Day, Day of the Child celebrations. And also we have now in the library, a social work intern is there 3 days a week from 9 to 1. And she can help people with teen child referrals, food and nutrition, financial assistance, mental health. If they need help filling out an application that they're like, I really just don't know what to do, dealing with housing/landlord issues. So it's just great that there's this point of community contact. They don't have to go to an agency, or they're just like, I don't know. And a lot of times people were coming into the library and asking librarians questions that were like, we really aren't the one to ask about these detailed referrals. We need someone in the library who can really do that. So we're glad to have her with us. This is a collaboration I'm really excited about, was the Nest/El Nido, a project to make the Newburgh Free Library a lactation-friendly place. The Nest offers a more private and quiet space for those who prefer it, an initiative to help destigmatize lactation, highlighting incredible benefits it provides. And this was launched by a Ramapo Catskill Library Association grant. And it was supported by 3 community organizations: the Orange County Department of Health, the Breastfeeding, Chest Feeding, Lactation Friendly New York, and Mid-Hudson Chocolate Milk. So you can see it there. You can get a key and go in, and there's a little cozy space in there if you want to nurse or pump or just have a quiet space with the baby. And there's a lot of organizations have information that you might need or referrals on the wall there on the bulletin board. You can see this October, we had the Mexican consulate come to Newburgh Free Library, and they could help people get passports, high security consular ID, registration certificates, lots of paperwork, lots of questions, again, that we couldn't answer. And a lot of people were able to take advantage of that. They made appointments and came to the library. Everyone knows how hard the pandemic was on businesses. So we had Dell Services ran this series of seminars for small business with the Small Business Development Center, how to explore, how to get started, how to get information about financial projects, if you needed an actual space for your business. So they had those webinars, seminars rather. And also just this past January, we had a job fair, New Year's job fair. It's a new year, help people get new opportunities. And you can see a lot of people came to that one. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Meg Medina, who is the 8th National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. She visited the Newburgh Free Library in June of 2023, and she was touring all around the country to connect with families, inspire students and families to experiment with book talks, sharing their books, getting a conversation about readings. You can see a couple of people there that were up on stage with her. It really was great to connect with the community. And when I asked my colleagues, I said, send me collaborations that you did. I got so many responses that I said, I cannot possibly include them all. You can see there on the list some of the ones that were sent to me. And then also there's a picture there. That's the warm up with us. It was a coat drive and community outreach event. We gave away a lot of coats. On the list there, we got the homeschoolers meetup. A lot of people started homeschooling after the pandemic. If I'm talking really fast. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. So that's my contact information if people